Hello, everyone. My name is Giovanni Lorenzoni. I'm the CEO of BitBang. We are a data consultancy company empowering our clients in the data-driven space. Today, I'm going to talk about the mosaic of platform and services, system thinking in a customer insight era. So be with me for the next 30 minutes. First of all, where do we live? What's the today environment characterized by? We are in a customer insight era. This means that when a customer enters my store, he becomes the king. When sales and marketing pioneer John Wanamaker made this famous statement, he was ahead of his time. Those words turned out to be a prophecy meant to be fulfilled a century after the businessman's death. Wanamaker died, in fact, in 1922, and today in 2020, the imperative for businesses to place their customer at the center of operation has never been stronger. In the age of the customer, in fact, companies want to know as much as possible about their customers, but this type of knowledge could be called customer insight, and put in other words, it's a business interpretation of how an audience thinks and feels. Collecting good and valuable customer insight can be challenging, we all know, but in a saturated market, it could make the difference between thriving or simply floating alone. And according to Forrester Research Consulting, companies that prioritize the customer experience enjoy 1.6 higher brand awareness, 1.5 higher employee satisfaction, 1.9 higher average order value, and 1.7 higher customer retention, if not 1.9 return on spend. To achieve these results, the key point is certainly represented by the ability to fully exploit all available data. Leveraging data means monitoring, mapping out the customer journey while collecting data at each touch point. This gives an insight into the psychology of the buyers, the clients, and what drives their buying decision. In 2013, Forrester published 2 studies regarding technology, management, and competitive strategy in what it called the age of the customer. And shortly after, researchers, marketers, business leaders alike dubbed the 2010s as the end of the age of information and the beginning of the age of the customer. In the age of the customer, it is the customer experience that defines commercial success. The new paradigm provided the centrality of the experience on the product, different purchase path with the presence of digital touchpoint, the affirmation of market leader who are totally focused on the customer, such as Amazon, Uber, and the likes. The key to driving to a customer-obsessed transformation passes from a coherent strategy able to illustrate, guide, and anticipate every customer action at any stage of the journey. That means there is only one way to win in the age of the customer, and that's by being truly customer obsessed. So the word obsession may have a negative connotation, but when it comes to businesses and their customers, it's actually a good thing. We have Amazon to thank for first introducing the idea of obsessing over the customers in 1997. The term customer obsession resurfaced in Amazon list of leadership principle. It has since then been a rather significant concept and buzzword in the business world. Customer obsession describes those organizations that continuously add value to the customer experience. These companies collect feedback regularly and prioritize customer needs in every business goal. They are more concerned with retaining and delighting existing customers than acquiring new ones. Again, customer obsession focusing on increasing retention and loyalty. By constantly improving the buyer's journey, your customer become more dependent on your brand. They can trust your business as their best interest at earth, which increases their likelihood of repeat purchases and becoming a loyal advocate. From a data point of view, the only way to pursue customer obsession is to have a holistic view of your data, analytics, and insight capabilities. So let me briefly talk about some of the challenges that need to be solved. Everyone knows about the silo problem, isolated, inconsistent customer experience across the online, offline, and the physical world. In fact, in the actual market context, we do usually see that there are many silos. They usually are related with organizational aspects because different divisions are in charge of to plan different activities, at least for offline marketing, online or digital marketing, and physical retail engagement. But also with technological limitation, many different technology do not allow to share content, data, rules, planning, and analytics practices. In this context, we may have an isolated and inconsistent customer experience with negative impacts on business results in terms of poor campaign optimization, lack or wrong personalization tactics, and missed opportunities to generate new purchases with orchestrated activities. Analytics alone is no longer enough. When we are able to bring data together and empower people to use it in game-changing ways, laying the data mosaic, we say, we can foster true change in business for people and in the world. This works for both business models and data. It's a concept that will come into play as the 2021 trends unfold. Our goal, ushering in change for the better. In an increasingly fragmented world, full of unfathomable amounts of data, analytics will suffer without synthesis. Thus, organization and the analytics professional must expand their toolkits with methodologies, people, and technology that support both synthesis and analysis. This is especially important, we believe, when using analytics for strategy and innovation and for navigating the complex regulatory maze. So such a mosaic takes a tripod of process, people, and technology. But let me explain what is a mosaic. Maybe all of you know already, but let me reiterate on this. A mosaic is a pattern or image which is made of small, regular or irregular pieces of colored stone, glass, or ceramic, held in a place by plaster, mortar, and covering a surface. The mosaics are often used as floor and wall decoration and were particularly popular in the ancient Roman world. Mosaic today includes not just murals and pavements, but also artwork, hobby crafts, and industrial and construction forms. Mosaics have a long history. They starting in Mesopotamia in the third millennium before Christ. Um, Mosaics were made in Tyrians, in Mycenaean Greece, with patterns and picture that became widespread in classic times, both in ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Mosaic art flourished especially in the Byzantine Empire from the 6th to the 15th centuries. That tradition was adopted by the Norman Kingdom of Sicily in the 12th century. And there's an influence, such influence led also Jewish artists to decorate 5th and 6th century synagogue in the Middle East with floor mosaics. So mosaic was widely used on religious buildings and palaces in early Islamic art. So they were common, especially in the ancient world. Today, the modern mosaic are made by artists and craftspeople around the world. Many material other than traditional stone, ceramic, tesserae, enameled and stained glass may be employed, including shells, beads, charms, chains, gears, coins, and pieces of custom jewelry. So we are trying to compare the MarTech optimization and innovation industry, or market, let me say, as a huge mosaic. A mosaic was made of tesserae. As everybody, market leaders know, they continue to face challenges using their stack to its full potential. Research tells that companies are utilizing just 58% of their stack full breadth of capabilities, facing challenges with cross-functional collaboration, a sprawling array of market solutions, and a lack of a solid customer data foundation. So maintaining the balance between the hyped simplicity of integrated suites and the potential integration challenges of a best-of-breed approach is key. A method that is working well to solve MarTech challenges is to build a platform, in particularly a platform that makes the most of what organization already have. How do we choose tesserae? How do we choose between ceramic tile, vitreous glass tile, stained glass, smalty, glass beads, shells, pebbles, jewelry in our MarTech ecosystem? So that's the challenge all of the market leaders are facing today. So we can admit, we can define, we can say our ecosystem of today technology seems like a mosaic of solution, a mosaic of people, a mosaic of skills, a mosaic of processes. And the metaphor is sustainable because all of the pieces that do compose a mosaic are tailor-made and are supposed to address specific paints and figures we want to achieve. What's the platform, though? A platform is something that serves to facilitate something else, something that offers a solid foundation to build upon it without reinventing the wheel every time. Is the place where producers and consumers find an easy way, let me add, to interact with each other. There are horizontal networks that connect buyers and sellers, speakers and listeners, creators and consumers, one to another, bypassing traditional gatekeepers. The like of Facebook, eBay, and their Airbnb, these are platforms that have become the connective tissue for billions of people, For example, Airbnb, IPO of these days, despite the tourism sector being one of the most penalized in this year, has given exceptional results, also thanks to its very platform-native business model. So building a platform can generate huge returns. A data platform is an integrated technology solution that allows data located in different types of sources to be governed, accessed, and delivered to users. Data application and data technology for strategic business purposes. There is, however, not a single declination of data platform, but many times. So platformization is when you transform a service proposition into a turnkey package. Useful when you want to create value of past experiences without reinventing the wheel every time, and enhance customers' benefit over the work done. In a data ecosystem, many platforms made of tesserae and services, the adhesives, are interconnected and organized. Human resources, human capital, skills, and commitment are the Mosaic artisans. Business and information technology processes are the methodologies to build the entire Mosaic around. So the Mosaic approach is a substrate that must be suitable for the platform. The right adhesive must be used. We mean the services, the right services must be used. And as you can see from the image, a mosaic is a work of composition on stratified materials and a multidisciplinary technique. But from the end user point, the view of a mosaic is homogeneous and robust. For example, if I think we are looking at a method for building the mosaic, so-called opus palladianum, the way it was designed and built was random, haphazard, and asymmetrical, and was very challenging to build it, as it required a lot of vision and hard work to fit the pieces together. But just with the full view of the mosaic of the system, you can see the beauty and the results of each tesserae aligned together. So this is what we mean with a mosaic of platforms to perform customer insight, data strategies, and insight-driven business. It's a mosaic of platforms and services that meet the requirements of a customer-obsessed insight era. For a matter of time, I won't go through all of the name of the technologies, but only their categories, their families, if you like. Moving from the left side to the right side, we can see technologies for data preparation and ATL, ELT tools, with a particular favor for visual and low-code interfaces for business users. Then metadata operation platforms, which catalogs inside the kind of catalogs and data engineering pipeline capabilities. Then artificial intelligence and machine learning platforms with end-to-end orientation. On box number 4, data lake and data lakehouse cloud platforms, fully managed and microservices oriented. And last but not least, cloud-based analytics and BI solution with a strong commitment on AI-powered functionalities. This is the mosaic of the future to deal with a data analytics practice. But these are tools, and we need an approach that looks at people, process, and technology to work together for successful outcomes, which primarily brings and creates a better experience for your customers. The methodology we believe it's right for such a complex challenge is what we call system thinking. System thinking is an approach that looks at people, as I said, processes and technologies to work together for successful outcomes, primarily a better experience for your customers. And it's a way of envisioning your business not as a collection of independent processes, but as an holistic system of interdependent processes that affect not only each other, but the system as a whole. For instance, Apple took a system thinking approach when it integrated iPod features into the iPhone. And we all know how incredibly successful it made their business. System thinking is a way, a method of helping companies to view data ecosystem from a broad perspective. A system thinking approach is based on the belief that the component part of a mosaic will act differently when isolated. System thinking concerns and understanding the mosaic of platforms and services by examining the links and the interaction between the elements that comprise the whole system. And system thinking is particularly useful in addressing complex or weak problem situation. In practice, encourages us to explore interrelationship, context and connection, perspective. Each actor, each employee has its own unique perception of the situation, and boundaries, agreeing on scope, scale, and what might constitute an improvement. Data-driven organizations are dealing with data at scale and a complexity never seen before. So system thinking for data should obviously include tools, processes, and people. There are also many more consumers of data and new types of users across the enterprise. However, you can't just keep throwing people at the problem, as there is simply too much data and too many steps involved. So automation and collaboration tools are imperative in such environment. Add to all this the myriad of new and evolving technologies to process data at scale, and the ever-increasing number of regulation organizations must deal with to ensure governance, compliance, and data privacy. The system thinking, the methodology we employ and suggest, addresses all of these considerations and provides a framework for you to achieve your data-driven business objective now and in the future. By following its principle, you'll be in a position to adapt to whatever new technology, ecosystem, regulation, or other requirements come your way. Here are the building blocks to put it into practice. And of course, people play a central role. There are many stakeholders, such as lab business analysts, data scientists, data engineers, data stewards, data governance council, InfoSec analysts, administration, and more. System thinking is crucial to enabling all of these people working together effectively. So, to come to a conclusion, let me summarize some key takeaways. In the customer insight obsessed era, analytics is no longer enough. The ecosystem of data platform and services require human resources, skills, and commitment. A mosaic approach is the next practice to deal with all of this. System thinking is needed for managing the big picture. Analytics has the same critical need to understand cause and effect relationship, and I reiterate, it doesn't make sense for us to reinvent the wheel. The analytics community should learn and adopt the practices of system thinking. The time has come for system thinking to become a central discipline of business analysis. Thank you, and have a great day.